every living thing needs a lot of organs to function and function properly. But when it comes to being productive and creative, one organ plays a very key role. If it's active and it's in best condition, you can also be more creative and more productive. My name is Obrempong Toku Dum VIII. Welcome to my podcast, where I share with you practical guidelines in business, leadership, and innovation. All I want in return from you is to like, share, and subscribe to my show to be part of the business creators movement. There are a lot of organs in us that help us function properly. The stomach, the heart. But when it comes to being productive and creative, there's one particular organ that needs to function properly before you can deliver, unless your activity involves brute force, such as lifting heavy items like cement and all those things. Then maybe you can do with not optimizing this particular organ. Luckily enough, this organ can be optimized, but most people don't know that they can optimize this organ in order for them to deliver and deliver well. And I'm talking about the brain. Your brain is at the center of everything you do. So before you can be very productive and creative, you need to have your brain in the best conditions. So in this episode, I'm giving you 3 things you can do to optimize your brain, to hack your brain in order to be more productive and creative, both in life and in business. The secret to optimizing your brain for top-notch performance is that there's no secret, because it varies from person to person. So knowing thyself is the beginning of wisdom. Before you can deliver, before you be more productive and get the best out of your brain, you have to know yourself. Because your best performance may depend on a particular place. Some people do very well in a certain places like noisy place or quiet place. It may also depend on time. Some people are very good in the morning or afternoon or late at night. For example, me, I become very creative and productive right in the morning after shower. Yours may be different. For some people, it's after a certain activity, maybe after going for a walk. That's me. Whenever I'm doing something and I feel stuck, trying to be creative, ideas are not coming, I pause and take a walk. And after taking a walk and coming back to the problem, the ideas start flowing. So what is yours? You need to find the best time, energy, and place for your brain. Because when your brain is sharp and active, that's when you become very productive. In order to know yourself, one thing you can do to know yourself very well is to meditate at least 10 minutes every day. And the more you do that, the more you get to know yourself and the more you get to understand your brain and how it works. And also, anytime you feel after some difficult work, anytime you feel that you have been very productive, quickly pause and go back and ask yourself, where was I? What did I do just before? What time? And write it down. You get to understand the things you do that makes you more productive. So one thing you can do to optimize your brain to be more productive and creative is to know yourself, because knowing thyself is the beginning of wisdom. Has this thing happened to you before? When you are having a very important conversation and you need to recall something. It could be a name of a person or something else. You tried, but the name didn't come or the idea didn't come. But sometimes few minutes or many hours, it could be days after the conversation, the idea or the name just popped. What happened? Simple, because during that time, your brain got jammed. You were forcing your brain to search and find the answer for you. And it couldn't. And the problem is that you did not give your brain enough time to prepare and gather all necessary information for this conversation or this particular task. So if you want to avoid this, always plan ahead to give your brain enough time, because there's so many things in the brain and it needs time to organize and search and give you what you need. So plan ahead in order to give your brain time to prepare. And don't plan your day, plan your week. That's what I do. Every Sunday evening, I plan the whole week, hour by hour. I plan Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So when I get to that activity, the brain has already been informed of what will be done and it's ready for me. Of course, plans are going to change, but it's better to plan, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Always plan ahead in order to give your brain time to think. And if you do that, you'll be surprised how productive and creative you become. Just like any machine, your brain also needs energy to function and function properly. If it lacks that energy, it's not going to give you the best. Luckily, the first important energy that the brain needs is free or cheap. You know what it is? Water. Just water, H2O. That's one of the highest amount of energy that the brain needs. When you become dehydrated, your brain slows down and doesn't function properly. So every morning when I wake up, before I do anything, I make sure I've taken in 1 liter of water. And you don't have to drink all at a go. It's better to divide. So always try and take in as much water as possible so that your brain becomes hydrated. Because water is good because your brain contains more water than anything else. And aside water, your brain also needs omega-3s and slow-releasing carbs. If you are in Ghana, you can get this by eating just ordinary Hausa cocoa, peanuts, salmon, and a few other things will give you that omega-3 and the carbohydrate that your brain needs. So remember to always feed your brain and feed it well, because it's only when it has the fuel it needs, then it will be at its top performing state. You may think you are very talented, you are very creative, so man, you don't need all this stuff, because whenever you are ready to create or produce, ideas just pop. No matter how clever or smart you are, you have to remember, even an expensive car still needs to go to mechanic to be maintained to be able to perform best. And so is your brain. And what you can do to put your brain in the best performing mode is to know yourself, to plan ahead of time, and to feed your brain and feed it well. Because you can't fine-tune your brain with screwdrivers or cables. You can do that by doing these 3 things. If you have learned anything from this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the show to be part of the Business Creators Movement. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.